All right, folks, it is time to move on to the self-care portion of the lecture for this week. And this is an activity that I did in my own therapy sessions at one time. And if I had y'all in a physical classroom, we would definitely do this together and then process through it together. So, one of the things that my therapist had me do one time when I was beginning to feel overwhelmed with life and just feeling like I was spinning multiple plates and there was never enough energy to go around, she had me do what I call the plate exercise. So, I've created a set of plates for you, and essentially what she had me do, she grabbed a stack of just regular paper plates and she had me list on each one a different responsibility that I was taking on, be it in my personal life, my professional life, relationships, emotions, mental states, all of those sorts of things. So I started listing things out, and there really could be anything on these plates. And as I would list them out, I would just kind of place each plate on the ground. So I had things in there like guitar lessons, leading my worship team, spirituality questions, family of origin questions, relationships, daily life tasks, my private practice, preparing for the next class to teach, and teaching itself. Now, I didn't list all of them off here, but I had quite a stack of plates. So what she had me do, and I would encourage y'all to do this also, is she had me lay all of these plates around me. And then what she had me do is pick up all of the plates, and I had to pick them up without being able to stack them on top of each other, and basically stack them somehow on my arms so that I had them all out and I was carrying them all. I wasn't allowed to drop any of them. So once I had them all picked up, I was told, okay, now walk around the room. Don't stand there, but you can't drop any of them. So after I did that, which was a little bit difficult to navigate, she had me just stand there and hold them and reminded me not to let them fall. So after this activity, it was very obvious to me the point that she was getting at, but we continued to debrief it. When she had me get done with it, she had me put all the plates back down on the ground, and she asked me questions such as, what does it feel like to hold all of these plates? If you were able to hold them all, what was it like trying to balance them all and make sure they didn't drop while you were walking around? And if you were able to walk around with them and not drop them and able to just stand there while balancing all of them, what was that like? If you're like me, the lesson becomes quite clear. Holding that many plates and balancing them, making sure that they don't fall, is quite burdensome and not something that's very easy to do. So, when you are finally able to let them all down, it usually seems obvious that there's a lot of plates that you're trying to spin or hold, and usually it's at the cost of you. Think about when life gets busy. What are some of the first things that get taken off of your schedule or the list of things to do? I know for me, when I get busy or overwhelmed, the first things that go are exercising, eating healthy, maintaining my routine, going to bed at a reasonable hour, and being productive with my time. So rather, I find myself doing meaningless things for large amounts of times, like watching TV. Not a bad thing, but something I don't need to do all the time. But it's the self-care things that I need in order to maintain the other things in my life that are going on, and yet those are the first things to go. So, when you have your plates, what I want you to do next is begin to separate them into piles. Plates that you can't put down, this might be your job, schooling, family, spouse. Plates that you really wish you could put down, even if it doesn't seem reasonable, but you want to put them down. For this exercise, just go ahead and put them down. And then make a third pile of plates that you just aren't sure about. Next, I want you to begin evaluating the must-have plates. Ensure that they truly are must-haves. Feel free to shift the plates around to different piles if you need them. Then look at the plates that you put down on the ground. Ask yourself such questions as, what holds you back from putting these plates down? Are you putting unneeded pressure on yourself to carry these plates even when it's not essential? What would it feel like to put these plates down? What would it feel like to put some of these plates down just temporarily or maybe even permanently? Begin to notice your feelings towards each plate. Um, each plate that you've written on the ground. Do you feel overwhelmed thinking about it? Do you feel a sense of relief just at the thought of putting it down? Do you continue to hold these plates because others expect you to hold them or that you're afraid of what others might say if you were to put that plate down? Finally, move on to the last pile of plates and work through them with the same evaluation process with the plates on the ground as well as the ones that you might keep. Notice where your feelings and your thoughts go and place the plates in the appropriate piles. Take a look at the pile of plates that you deem as the ones that you must carry. See if there's any adjustments that need to be made. Are there any of these plates that need to be put down temporarily in order to focus your time and energy on other things and then pick back up at a later time? When I did this exercise, it was very humbling for me to recognize that I had put a lot of pressure on myself to be spinning a lot of plates. And I remember coming to this recognition that there were certain things that I could put down and didn't have to feel guilty about. And even the sheer magnitude of just seeing the plates in front of me allowed me the ability to make the decisions that I needed to make in order to take these things off of my plate and just free up more times for the things that really were important to me. And the cool thing was, as I got done with some of the tasks, like I had a licensure exam that I was studying for. That was for a set amount of time. And when that was done, I was able to pick up another plate that I had temporarily put down in order to save time in my schedule. So as I stated in the first lecture, self-care is incredibly important. And I think it's only fair to say that for people in the helping profession, we don't often recognize the depth and the breadth of how much we take on in an effort to truly help others both personally and professionally.